Good evening and welcome to another episode of Clearly Ambiguous. Thank you for likes, shares, and comments on the previous videos. Keep the support and love coming. What are we talking about today? Well, today we are talking about something that most youngsters, for that matter, everyone, finds very unjust all the time. And I'm not going to defend it, but I'm going to make a few points that we should probably speak about, which unfortunately we do not see our leaders speak about, which is taxes. See, there are different types of taxes. What are those different type of taxes? I'm sure you can research about them online, and you can use any of my AI friends that give you very quick answers on those. But why are taxes necessary? Or why are we frustrated with taxes? So let's address the fact that why are we frustrated with taxes? See, the reason why we are frustrated with taxes is because we always have a limited income. We are not rich, we do not have a lot of wealth. You will never see people who have a lot of wealth usually complain about taxes, and they will actually have a battery of tax consultants and lawyers who will give them loopholes in every tax system there is to save as much as they can. But for a person like you and me, who's essentially the middle class and the backbone of how a country runs, we usually are taxed. And because we have that limited amount of income, we have to do a lot of those things within the limited amount of income. We have to pay for the food, for the electricity, for sending our kids to school, so on and so forth. And on top of that, there is a tax. So we feel that we have been robbed of the money that we earn for ourselves. Now, if, yes, the unjustified taxation is there, it needs to be rationalized. And that is what subsequent governments in this country have done. So thinking that the present government has just come up with this wild idea of having an income tax, you can definitely look for it. It was in 1860s. Let's search. When was the income tax implemented in India? Okay, so if we ask for, and this is very easy. I'm sure everybody can do this. So this is what it says, 24 July 1860. So income tax is not something that the government of India has just come up with now. This was imposed on us by the British. So actually, we can definitely argue that if British imposed this, and when the British left, why didn't we just dismantle the tax system? Why? Because we collect that tax, the government, not we, the government that we elect collects that tax because it says that we have to be provided certain things. Now, in some cases, the governments do collect taxes and do not provide what we want. But in today's scenario, is it that difficult for us to voice our concern? Well, it's not very difficult to do that. You can definitely voice your concern much more vociferously and eloquently these days because you have social media. Now, we are being made to believe the fact that the current tax system is unjust. To a point, yes, maybe it can be argued. And certain politicians do make a point every time, and they are in the opposition right now. They make a point that, oh, why are we being taxed so much and why is the government not acting upon it? If you look at the states where they are actually ruling, are those states living in a tax vacuum? Like there is no tax. Are those states tax havens? So we have to look at that. So while they advocate that the central government probably should not be charging any taxes, they do not eliminate or reduce taxes in their own states because taxes in their states are necessary for their progress. That is how they justify it. And that's how the union government justifies it, that we need to collect taxes so that we give you better roads, schools, so on and so forth. So everything that the government says, obviously they'll say, we need money to give you a certain service. And while we would say that the incumbent government is there, and why is it charging tax? Because we have when in a democracy we say that it is a government by the people, for the people, of the people. then they are part of us, isn't it? And if they want certain amount of money from the income that you have, which is income tax, so to speak, direct tax, they must have it so that we can probably get. And don't we expect that these days? We have a pothole on a road these days, we can just basically tweet it, and we have bad service, railway service, don't we tweet and tag the railway minister today? It is possible today. Was it possible earlier? It's not that people earlier and middle classes earlier have not protested about it. And yes, those protests have made the government look and rationalize the tax system. But just protesting for the sake of making noise and not engaging with the government, whereas this government has been pretty engaging with youngsters, isn't it? The Prime Minister today tries to engage with youngsters as well. I'm not making these points for those people who just do not agree with the fact that this person should be the Prime Minister of a country. So I'm not speaking to them. I'm speaking to those people who probably have doubts about why are we paying tax? Why are we being charged extra on petrol? Why is there a toll tax? Why is there a... See, when I travel, even I complain about toll taxes. And it's my right to say that. Okay? But saying that government is just collecting taxes and not doing anything, well, that is a little unfair, isn't it? In today's scenario. We are no longer that kind of a country where every time the government needed to spend on some scheme, they would just raise their hands and say, we can't do it because we just don't have enough money. And we probably will go to the World Bank or we'll do this, that, and the other. Today, if the government needs money, they collect it through taxes, or probably they get investment into the market. And what happens when that investment comes? Obviously, our market grows, we grow as a country, we earn more, we have more opportunities. For some people who are saying that there are no opportunities, well, that is a very bleak way of looking at everything, isn't it? Right? And those are the same people who come to platforms such as these, right? And they have immense viewership, and they're probably monetizing their videos and earning money from those videos, right? Complaining about taxes, right? So yes, there is a necessity why the government needs to generate revenue, because the government is not basically going to get something like a buried treasure somewhere. Well, there could be buried treasures, but then again, we were colonized for more than a couple of 100 years by somebody who's sitting far, far away. And they keep advocating that the Asian countries right now, and we should probably open up more, reform our economies more. And if you look at these Western countries who propagate this today, this kind of anarchist leftist behavior that they propagate in our countries today, and say, you know what, rise up in arms against your elected leaders and just basically destroy the system there is, because the system's unfair. In our case, the system's unfair. In our case, taxation is unfair. In our case, the system's unfair. Whereas these very same countries, in certain European countries, they even charge up to 50% of what you earn as tax. There are hardly many Western European countries which are tax havens, so to speak of. Even the rich and elite in Europe go to the Cayman Islands when they want to hide their money, right? So, come on, let's be reasonable. It's not always that the West says it, and just because... And I've been saying this, if you see a trend on most of the topics that I speak about, I definitely try to speak about this, that, everything that comes out of the West is not bad, not good. Or everything that comes out of the East is not ill-informed, and the East is not backward anymore. And we shouldn't even look very far. We can look towards our East and our neighbors. And who are our neighbors? We've got China, doing pretty well, aren't they? And then if you go towards Far East, you have the Japanese, the Koreans, even the Malaysians and the Indonesians down in the Indian Ocean region. They're doing pretty well, aren't they? And they're not all following a Western approach to economy, taxation, and everything. Yes, they pick up, and I'm sure there is not all good in those countries as well. There must be some criticisms there. But saying that we cannot even engage with this government, actually we can engage with this government. This government does listen. Whenever there have been, if you look at farm protests, everybody on the left likes to say that the farm protests were a great success. They brought down the fascists, and the fascists had to listen and roll back. Well, in one way, you accept that as a positive and a victory. But at the same point of time, you end up saying that this government doesn't. So what is it? Do they listen? Do they not listen? Or is protest the normal thing now? That's like putting a gun to somebody's head and saying, you know what? I will cripple the system. I'll cripple everything that there is because you don't give me what I want. And I recently came across a post by someone because they had shared somebody in the parliament speaking about we are being taxed at multiple different levels. Of course, you should definitely go online and search for value-added tax, and you will realize that that is similar to something like GST that we have in our country. Okay. America talks of tariff all the time, and we probably don't have problems with that. But no, we Indians, there shouldn't be tariff, there shouldn't be taxes. There shouldn't be unreasonable taxes is what we should be speaking about right now. And I would really appreciate if any government, whether it's a state government, even at national level, any government can basically reduce any tax that they have imposed. Even a minor percentage point will be really nice and really welcome. The income tax this year, yes, it provides certain benefits, but it takes ages to understand that, right? But that's what our government actually expects our middle class to be knowledgeable enough to understand their tax slabs and everything. But then again, there are certain people who have probably not even filed an IT return in the last 10 years, and they say income tax is not justified. Well, that is something laughable. So if you think that it is unjust, please do mention in the comment section. If you think that, yes, a government is allowed to tax its citizens reasonably so that the development and social welfare schemes can be continued. How do you expect to have social welfare if the government basically does not make money? What is supposed to happen? Right? A lot of what we should probably be complaining about is the government's giving away freebies, because justified freebies to backward classes is definitely more welcome. Why not? But at the same point of time, those freebies going to those people who probably do not even deserve freebies. There are a lot of people in this country who are probably living pretty well off, but they are still consuming the BPL grains that the government provides. And why don't they grow a conscience today and say, you know what, fine, I'll definitely give this up. We don't like to give it up ourselves, but we definitely want the government to give up on taxes. Hypocrisy, isn't it? So anyways, this is what I was feeling strongly about. Would not want to stretch too long, because then again, people definitely get bored after a point of time. And I hope you enjoyed this conversation that we've had today. Please do hit the like button, and please at least share it with one more person so that you can help our small channel grow. I'm not being like thinking about grow very big, but yes, of course, you should please allow us to grow as well, because everybody needs a chance. So give us a chance as well. So anyways, thanks for watching. Keep watching. That's it from me today. Until next time, you have a good one.